Hello and welcome to Freedom Through Astrology, where I'm giving you the keys to living your best life. And it's freedomthroughastrology.com. I tell people it's THRU because it is all about you. I'm your astrologer, Donald Patak, and there's my contact information, standard YouTube copyright license. Keys to the reading. I use sidereal astrology, or more appropriately, the visible sky in doing my reading. So if the signs don't quite line up, it's because you're probably used to tropical, and tropical is about 25 degrees ahead of the visible sky. So I'm also using the natural sign size. All the constellations are different sizes. Virgo is somewhere between 45 and 48 degrees, depending on who does the calculations. Aries is around 25 degrees. So the constellations are all different sizes. Also emphasizing different lessons in life too, but I digress. I use astrological midpoints as well. That did come up as a question. The current boundaries that everybody is aware of were designed or drawn by astronomers who really don't care about astrology. Athens Chimente decided to create midpoints where he looked at the zodiac belt, the last bright star of constellation A and the first bright star of constellation B, did a little geometry to determine the midpoint and establish new boundaries. I use those. I think they make much better sense. So again, my boundaries are a little bit different. I use the 13 signs. The 13th sign, or the missing sign, is Ophiuchus, the wounded healer. It's where you're wounded in life it's where you're wounded in life, so you learn to heal yourself so you can heal others. There's more information, a little bit anyway, in this book. It's called, sorry, you're not going to see it because of the light. I've got another one of these pressure front headaches, so I've got like dark here. It's called The Lost Zodiac, 22 Ancient Star Signs by Catherine Tennant. And she does do a little blurb on how Ophiuchus was at one time the 13th sign. That's annoying me. That's better. So at one time, Ophiuchus was in the zodiac, the standard zodiac. It was removed when they went from a 13-month calendar or 13-moon calendar to a 12-moon calendar. What I'm reading for you are the weekly transits. These are universal lessons for everyone. This is different from what I read when I do a transit reading that you order. So for this, all I'm looking at what's happening in the sky, planet to planet, versus in the sky, versus when I'm reading it for you, I will look planet to planet, but I will also look planet to natal, which is completely different, which is a whole another level. And last but not least, I read what is called evolutionary astrology. Evolutionary astrology says that your chart is a map of the lessons you came here to learn. Your chart isn't who you are cut in stone. It's a map of who you came here to become. It's a map of your intentions. So make sure my notes here are good. All right. We've had technical difficulties. Laser guided optical control device, if I call it the other word that everybody's familiar with, my cats think it's a chew toy. 2 of them this week. So let's go to the reading. So I'm reading this as the lessons to learn, and I read the high road and the low road. The high road is the ideal. Ideally, you learn this, and then the shadow is what I call it. Okay, she's not running. I have a cat called Shadow, so every time I say that, she like, what? So these are the lessons. So I tell you what the high road is and the low road is, so that you are aware and you can actually guide yourself to the better path, I believe. And this is the weekly transit report for February 4th through 11th, 2024. The moon is very busy this week. It's stable in the middle with a longer transit through Sagittarius, but otherwise it's a sign almost a day. And we have the new moon in Capricorn this week. We are under the influence of a very long transit. Jupiter and Saturn are in a sextile, and we'll talk about that. The nodes of the moon are active this week. This is how you transform and change. So the south node points out a bad habit to me, and this is the way I just read it to make it simple. The south node is a bad habit that you came here to change, just to be simple about it. And the North Node is your ultimate evolutionary destiny. It's how you change this or release this karma or this habit that you came here to change. The Sun and Venus, very active this week. They're working with the nodes, and they're also working with Uranus, however you want to pronounce it. He's creative, he'll tolerate it. Uncle or Grandpa Uranus can handle it. And then the beginning of the week, we actually start with a I call it a power trance anyways. The start of the week with Mercury conjunct Pluto. And we'll get into that. There are other transits as well, but this is just kind of a Polaroid picture shot. And let me pull this down. And as we're looking for the week, you can see Monday is kind of active. Tuesday, we begin, this is the whole Venus and the Sun working with Uranus and the nodes. And you can see very busy. Starts Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You get a little breather on Friday before Mercury and Jupiter, and then it just calms down. Sunday, it's the only major thing I'm reporting on is just a transit of the moon. But as you can see, very intense Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday. So the middle part of the week. The only saving grace we have in that is that this is the moon will be in Sagittarius. The saving grace is that moon in Sagittarius, curious to learn, curious to explore. So that'll be a benefit. Okay. Our long transit, Jupiter in Aries in a sextile to Saturn Jupiter in Aries sextile to Saturn in Aquarius. Gosh. Yeah, this is where my eyes aren't. I apologize. Jupiter is your ability to, I call it your ability to dream, envision or see bigger, better, brighter opportunities in Aries, having the courage to do that. Saturn is about growth and maturity. In Aquarius, becoming your authentic self. So to me, this transit, the excitement here is having the courage to dream about who this authentic person is, and then doing the work to become it. I think that's what this transit's about. Having the courage to accept a great work that speaks to your authenticity, the real you. It can be challenging. Saturn usually means hard work in my book. But it's, Saturn means doing the work, but also when you do the work, you get a great reward. Knowing it can be challenging, but the reward will be great. Yes, said it there. Okay, the shadow, blowing this, choosing something easy is selling yourself out for much less than you deserve, and leaves you with regret. So the lesson here is get excited, dream big, and make it authentic to yourself. And these are leftovers from Saturday and Sunday. Well, I don't even know what day it is. 3rd and 4th. Yeah, that's where my brain is. Sun in Capricorn in a sextile to Chiron in Pisces. And again, we said the sextile is an excitement. Sun in Capricorn. Sun represents your ego, and you came here to heal your ego. Nothing that I've read says destroy the ego, because the ego is your personality, yourself. And so and whatever your sun sign is, look up to see what a healthy expression of that is. Those are the lessons you're here to learn. So in Capricorn wants to get stuff done. Capricorn wants to do that, take on that hard challenge too. So that's ruled by Saturn as well. I digress. But what we have here is Sun in Capricorn is wanting to do the work and working on the ego, doing what? And the Sun is in a sextile to Chiron, healing the deep wounds. In Pisces, healing and releasing these deep wounds. So this is an opportunity to become aware of, heal, and be doing the work of healing and releasing deep wounds. The shadow of this, hold on a second, did I get these out of order? Yeah. Shadow of the Sun is just being out of control ego, and Capricorn can be a control freak. And Chiron, instead of healing, is deeper wounding. And Pisces, deeper wounding, and then finding a way to numb the pain. So being irresponsible and causing hurt and trying to find ways to escape it. I don't know why I don't have that in here. I have to fix that. Oh, that would explain it. Tablet didn't refresh the page. My bad. Sun in Capricorn, feeling and falling to cynicism leads to deeper wounding, out of control ego. Yeah, same thing. All right. Venus in Sagittarius in a square or a challenge to Chiron in Pisces. And we talked about Chiron in Pisces. Chiron, healing and releasing the wounds. Venus is about relationships. So just at the basic level there, healing, the challenge of healing relationships. If you get that much, that's great. If I can communicate that much, I'm doing good. Yeah, healing the ability to relate and receive. That's what my notes say. Cool. Um, Venus Sagittarius is learning to have faith and trust. So Venus having faith and trust that you can heal these relationships and release the wounds, knowing that you were hurt in the past can result in healing in the present. Be open to new ways of healing relationship wounds and your ability to deal with others. It's a square. Know that this is a challenge, but I will say this, and I'll tell this every single time. When you look at the pyramids of Egypt, from a distance, they're giant triangles. When you get up close, they're built on squares. That tension, that resistance builds strength. And that builds strength, and that's what kept the pyramid. That strength is what keeps the pyramids in place for as long as they've been, surviving earthquakes, wars, and countless tourists. The shadow of this transit is becoming manipulative of others, can lead to wounds being reopened and made worse for all involved. So if that square gets out of tension, it can, I always say pressure creates either diamonds or dust. So you're creating a diamond, you're doing the work of healing, you're creating a diamond and healing a relationship, hopefully that lasts for a very long time. Diamonds last forever. Valentine's Day is coming up. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. I remember that song. The original version. No, I wasn't alive at the time. But the shadow is grinding it into dust. So if you mess this up, you could be ruining relationships. Oh, sorry. And also, February 4th, the moon is stepping into Scorpio. Take time to face the deep truths of life. Moon is your emotions, your soul. It's also how you heal. Scorpio is about depth and digging deep and looking. Perfect example of Scorpio is Toto the dog in The Wizard of Oz. Everybody else saw that big thing. Don't look behind that curtain. Pay attention to me. And Toto said, screw you, and jumped down and pulled the curtain back. Toto, Scorpio. What's behind the curtain? I'll tell you. Let me show you what's behind the curtain. That's Scorpio wanting to get behind the curtain, wanting to see what's going on. Take time to face truth. Examine the values you hold at the root level. Are they yours? This is a time of deep examination and deep reflection. Be mindful of mood swings and overcomplicating and overanalyzing things. Yeah, Scorpio out of control can't see the forest through the trees. So yeah, to be careful with Scorpio. Wonderful sign though. Last but not least, Mercury conjunct Pluto in Sag. Mercury learning in Sagittarius. Mercury is learning, communication, listening. Pluto is about transforming. So at the base level, transforming your ability to learn and communicate. And I always tell you, communication is listening and talking. In 2 ears, listen twice as much as you talk. Don't feed me that story, well, you got 2 lips, 1 mouth. Sagittarius is about exploration, having faith, trust, going out and exploring. And my notes here I have is learning through difficulty. The other thing that I was doing some reading on Pluto. Pluto in Sagittarius is about examining your belief systems. So Mercury very well could be examining belief systems here as well. And so examining belief systems and what is true to me and what's not. And if it's true to me, keep it. If it's not true to me, let it go. So I think that transformation is appropriate here as well. You've learned all these things. You've got all this information. What's true to you? Time to, you went to the store, you bought all these clothes. They're not all going to fit in the closet and in that dresser. Let's find what fits you and what looks good on you. Keep that. And the stuff that doesn't goes bye-bye. So it's a time to face and speak up the deep truths of life and speak them in a way to people are able to listen and accept them. Start with yourself. The greatest truths, the hardest truths we have to speak are to ourselves. Wasting your energy to maintain a lie or false narrative in your life or building a shadow self is the wrong path. Also be careful of speaking words that wound but offer no healing. Personal story. I had a friend who sat me down one day. He said, Don, we got to talk. Sat down. They said about 10 words and they had me like head hanging down. It's like, okay, you're right. I got to do something about that. And, they helped me work through the situation. Words that wound that can bring healing. The doctor, if you get hurt and you got to have surgery, the doctor wounds you. But at the end, ideally, all the surgery and all the stitching and physical therapy brings a greater healing. Okay, it's when it doesn't bring the healing that we got a problem. Quite honestly, I'd like something that works on these headaches. It actually is starting to feel better. Maybe that salad I ate helped. Monday, nice light day. Big thing to focus on. The moon steps into a fucus. The moon, your soul, how you heal. In the what? The symbol of a fucus. The wounded healer. A little quick about the story of a fucus for those who do not know. The symbol of a fucus is a man holding a snake by the head and the tail. In ancient times, the snake symbolized knowledge. So if you look at the symbol, it's a man holding that snake, controlling the snake, or controlling knowledge. And the intention is to heal himself so that he can heal others with similar wounds. Here, you're healing your emotional wounds. So during this transit, be open to an opportunity to heal deep emotional wounds. And then ideally you're serving as an example to others who have the similar wound. Look to the house where a fucus falls. That'll tell you the area of life where this will be affecting you, ideally. Be open to opportunities to hear your soul. Information of people that can help you heal are available if you are open to them. And the shadow is, my note here says, stepping in the shadow leads to deeper wounding. So this can be great healing or deep wounding, your choice. Okay. Also on Monday, two things, I'm sorry. What was that Chevy Chase skip? Number one, this, and first of all, I want to talk about. Secondly, on Monday, Mercury enters Capricorn. Mercury, learning, in communication. Capricorn, the get stuff done sign. Sagittarius, you explored all these ideas. Now it's time to do something with it. Lesson here is to learn self-discipline and focus on the task at hand. Be open to learning and how to communicate more clearly. So use that knowledge that you just, you cleared the wardrobe with Pluto. Now it's time to work with what's left. Taking the time can be helpful. Be patient with yourself and others. Capricorn, Saturn, patience, self-discipline. Falling into the shadow has you focusing, learning the wrong things or things that do not matter in the big picture of life. So, there's a difference between playing video games and learning to be a video game programmer. I think that's an example that makes sense here. If you want to, you want to be a programmer. Yeah, programmers play games, but they sit down and they study code. So if you want to be a video game programmer, take the time to study. That's just my example. It's doing the work that matters, learning that matters. Falling into the wrong thing, wrong time. Okay, Tuesday. Yeah, Gemini ascendant, might be personal. I have a Gemini ascendant with Mercury in Gemini. So I've got to learn to be clear and concise in my communication, because I can go off for hours. Okay, Tuesday. Tuesday is where we start getting busy. Thankfully, and this is our bit of stability here, if the moon is stable, moon enters Sagittarius. So moon is your, like I say, it's how you heal, it's your emotions. Be open to fresh and new ideas. It can be inspiring. Opportunities for new experiences may arise. Look into them with an open mind. Sagittarius is about getting up, going out and exploring. It's the symbol of the archer. Shoot an arrow. Okay, where did it land? Let's find it. So Sagittarius, Gemini is book knowledge. Sagittarius is, okay, let's go out in the world and figure this out. So that to me is the difference there. So being open-minded and being able to go out there and be open to fresh ideas that can give you inspiration. Standing for the status quo and refusing anything new can hold you back. Okay, one of the kittens just showed up, and I'm afraid they're going to go after the laser optical computer control device. In fact, I think this is the one that chewed up the other two. Okay. I think as long as I'm here, he'll leave it alone. Tuesday, Mars in Sagittarius is in a sextile or excitement to Neptune in Pisces. Mars is about learning courage and assertiveness. There are people who say it's the lesser malefic, blah, blah, blah. Learning to be courageous and assertive, speaking your truth and respecting others, that's the positive lesson. So having the courage on Neptune to receive inspiration, powerful. That's just a basic lesson. I said Mars in Sagittarius, having the courage to go out and explore. Neptune in Pisces. Neptune rules Pisces. This is like exclamation point. Pay attention to this. Victor Borge's pronounceable punctuation would be like really good here. Yeah, so this is about being and receiving inspiration in spirit. My notes here: have the courage to work on spiritual interests, expect challenges to your beliefs, not challenges, but excitement. I think expect excitement for your beliefs and work through them for greater strength. Mars, Mars likes a challenge anyways, but expect that excitement to be there. And I think that this is a wax. No, this is a waning. This is that final cycle as Mars approaches Neptune. I gotta start working those in. But yeah, so work through them for greater strength, exploring your spirituality, not what everybody else says, your personal, having the courage to explore your own spirituality and inspiration in spirit and getting into your spirit. That's a good thing. Falling into spiritual excess or delusional thinking can lead you astray. Also be careful of going on a spiritual warpath. I'm reminded of those fundamentalists who go on their crusade. I hate to use the word crusade, but I've been in downtown Buffalo where I see them on the corner, yelling on top of their lungs their personal beliefs and how you need to conform to. That's the example I'm talking on. These religious extremists who are trying to force other people to follow their belief system. That's the shadow you want to avoid. That this is an opportunity for you to explore the depths of your own belief system. Okay, this is where it gets going to be really interesting. Venus in Sagittarius, trine to Uranus in Aries, Uranus, or however you want to pronounce it. A trine is an easy energy. What you put in is what you're going to get out, and you're going to get it out fast. So if you focus on the high road, you're going to get that back, and it's going to be a nice easy. But if you focus on the low road, it'll be easy, but you're going to get that shadow and that consequence fast. Venus is about relationships. Uranus is learning authenticity and being your authentic self. So the base lesson here, being authentic in your relationships. Venus can also be about creativity and also working with other people. So being authentic while you're working with other people, being authentic in your creativity as well. I like to throw that in. And we talk about Sagittarius is about that explorer's attitude, having the faith and trust to get up, go out there and do it. Talk to new people, talk to different people, make new friends, and the courage and Uranus and Aries, having the courage to be your authentic self as you're meeting these new people, as you're making these new friendships. Find new ways to break up your relationship routines as well. Be open to fresh input and ideas that can bring new life to friendships. This could be an opportunity to take some of those older relationships and old friendships that have been kind of falling flat, and hey, let's add some spice. Let's Let's do something fun and new, or have the courage to find new relationships. Falling in the shadow as relationships becoming stale, predictable, and falling away into boredom. Relationship falls into boredom, it's kind of the end. Now, in that weekly thing, there's a big long chunk in the middle, and what happened is you have the south node, you have Venus squaring the south node, then the north node. I'm combining some of those things together, so this reading is going to jump around a little bit here. Okay, so Wednesday with the sun in Capricorn is in a square or a challenge to Uranus in Aries. So your sun, your ego, Uranus, your authentic self. So the challenge of being your authentic self. In Capricorn, doing the work to be of being your authentic self, having the courage to do the work of being your authentic self. And the square is the challenge. And remember, challenges build strength. You work through this challenge, you build your authentic self. And it's something, like I say, pressure creates diamonds. Face the challenge of integrating your true individuality. Do the work of becoming your authentic self. Powerful. That's the aim of this. Living a life or dream of other people will have you feeling empty and phony, and also be careful being an egotistical expression of yourself. So yeah, you can go way overboard, being egotistical, and I'm being authentic, real, etc., etc. No, you're not. And like I say, failing this, whatever you create, dust can fall into dust. So yeah. Okay, now this is where I'm getting you still used to controlling this with this. It's a little bit different and a little bit weird. It's a gaming mouse. I shouldn't have said that. I'm gonna have to box that thing up when I'm done tonight. Otherwise, one of my feline pets is gonna play with it. Venus is in a T-square to the nodes of the moon. And this starts on Tuesday, Wednesday, and goes to like Wednesday, Thursday, or Thursday, Thursday. I can't remember off the top of my head. But what it is you have the south node and the north, or south node's down here in the bottom, north node's up here, the moon. They're in an opposition to each other. Let me pull this out of the way because it's going to annoy me. These two are the nodes of the moon. South node represents a bad habit. That's why I tell people this is a bad habit to leave behind. The north node is how you leave it behind and what you move towards. So these are usually 99 times out of 100 in opposition to each other. And at this point in time, they are in a square, 90 degree, that both of them are squaring on Venus. Venus's relationships. So I will explain this piecemeal. So the south node in Virgo, perfectionism. How are you holding yourself and your friends up to unrealistic expectations in relationships? That's the challenge, to see that and admit that. The north node in Pisces is saying, go with the flow. Learn to let people be themselves, and that can actually help the relationships do better. And again, I'm going to throw sunshine at Xena. This is through this pressure. If you can keep this in a balance, if you think of the weightlifter, and this was Xena's example, blowing more sunshine at her, because this was brilliant. I shared this with some other astrologers, and their faces were like, "Why didn't we think of that?" But think of the weightlifter when when those Olympic weightlifters, when they're picking up those weights, they get them on their neck or on their shoulders, across their shoulders, they balance them. And as long as they keep them balanced and lift them up, they're building strength. So by learning to let go of the controlling attitude and letting people be themselves, you can build stronger relationships. How does this go south? Still being the control freak, and in the north node, escapism. I'm not doing that. That's them projecting the blame, doing something else. And what happens is the relationship gets crushed into dust. And that's how this gets ruined. And this is going to start Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is, I think it goes into that. That's what I have written down. Oh, wait a minute. Friday goes into the 9th, Friday. So this, I got it wrong up there. I'll have to fix it. Well, too late. So it goes into Friday, actually. My apologies. The slide is wrong. So this goes into Friday the 9th. So this is through Tuesday through Friday. Learning to learning to let people be themselves and go with the flow helps you strengthen relationships. And the shadow is being a control freak and escaping it. And at the same time, we do have Uranus in that trine. I didn't draw that in, but you being your authentic self and letting people be their authentic selves as well can be very good. And we also have the nodes are very busy. In this case, they're working with the sun in Capricorn. Sun in Capricorn, and again, I'm going to focus on on the self here in this one because this is about your ego. And your ego here is doing the work of releasing perfectionist attitudes about yourself and learning to, again, go with the flow and release and release and just say, hey, you know what? I did good enough, and good enough is good enough. So, and this is a trine, meaning it's going to be easy for you to see and to notice when you're holding yourself to those unrealistic expectations. And the sextile to the North Node is excited about saying, hey, I can learn to go with the flow. I can do this. And the shadow of this is falling deeper into this control freak attitude and numbing or blinding yourself to it and trying to escape it. And that also goes Tuesday through Friday as well. And again, you've got the challenge, or that was a square of being your authentic self in this. So we have we have that going on as well. But hold yourself up. Notice when you're holding yourself to an unrealistic standard and say, you know what, this is the best I can do. I'm good with it. What do I have here? Anything else? Ego is working on learning to live and let live and release unrealistic expectations. The shadow is falling into delusions that everything is okay. So, Thursday, moon enters Capricorn. Face a challenge that is set before you and work to complete it. The moon, you're emotionally up to doing something and getting something done. See what is set before you as an opportunity to grow and learn. Failing to control yourself and seeking to control others is a sign that you're missing the path. So emotionally, you're up to doing something, doing a big task and doing a great task and a valuable task for yourself. Shadow of this is falling into control freak mode. And Friday, Mercury in Capricorn squaring Jupiter in Aries. Mercury is learning and communication. Jupiter is seeing opportunities. So this is learning about opportunities and being open to opportunities. I said the square is a challenge. So the challenge of being open to opportunities and seeing things, and the courage to have that. And in Capricorn, having the courage to learn about these new opportunities. Square, like I said, the square is the challenge. If you accept this challenge, you get strengthened, and people maybe say, hey, this guy's open to that challenge. Hey, maybe he'll be open to more, and that strengthens you and builds you up better. And you also learn that you can handle these challenges. Face the challenge of expanding your education and access to information. Open to new ideas, possibly bigger than you think possible. Jupiter likes to dream big. So, yeah. Be careful of long-winded conversations that say nothing of any worth, or being arrogant know-it-all. That's the shadow of this. Thinking that you know everything and you can't teach me something new. You've missed the mark. And Friday, we have the new moon in Capricorn. The moon, your emotions, how you heal. The sun, your ego in Capricorn, doing the work of healing the ego, healing your emotional self. Powerful. This time, the sun is listening to the heart for direction in life at this time. Listening to the heart, you can find a clearer purpose. The symbol for Capricorn is the sea goat, which is really interesting because the back half is a seal, the front half is a goat. Seal, water. Water represents spirit more often than not in ancient times. The goat walks on land, climbs mountains. Symbolically, that's making something real. So this is being open to receiving this inspiration and making it real. making this healing real. Okay. Falling into dark moods, trying to control others is distracting you from your true purpose. This will actually be happening at night for me here on the eastern coast of the eastern coast of the United States. Saturday. Yes, things calm down for Saturday. Moon enters Aquarius. Emotional freedom. I live for the weekends. I can picture so many people singing that song now. Aquarius is about your freedom, authenticity, your individuality. Find your freedom from the approval of others and their judgment, and the freedom to feel, the freedom to heal as well. Just so this, the moon, your emotions, also how you heal yourself. Feel free. Don't be that's in the shadow. We'll talk about that. Without the approval of others and their judgment, look for experiences that lead you to your own higher truth. Settling for others' approval is a sign of self-betrayal that can leave you feeling empty. Also, just acting out and acting really eccentric and just being a freak show, for lack of a better term, that's the shadow as well. And our final transit is how we end the week. Moon enters Pisces. This is late on Sunday. The moon, your emotion, Pisces, is about transcendence, getting over, releasing. We actually have a lot that the moon is going to hit next week with this. I'm not going to go into it. They'll talk about that next time. But this is emotionally settling down, receiving inspiration, and like I say, inspiration in spirit, receiving emotional inspiration. Take some time to get a fresh vision for your life at this time. Releasing things that no longer serve you and being open to new ideas. Take time for spiritual experiences that can lead to inner growth. Be careful of self-distraction and numbing yourself to higher experiences. Kit, what's the matter? I don't like when she cries like that. Last time she lost her toy, it took me forever to find. Okay. So, yeah. Take some time. I know it's Super Bowl Sunday, but do take some time to yourself. Pisces can be alone time. So do take some time for yourself to get some inspiration. Okay. If you did like this, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. I'm on all three. I'm also on the Digital Soul Space. It is it's a spiritual collective, is the best way to describe it. There's a free version, there's a paid version. Everybody says, why do I want to pay for that? You pay for these top three with your data, and they're not giving you any money. Digital Soul Space is privacy. There are three moderators. Michael. Oh gosh, Michael. I want to say Amber, but I don't think that's who it is. I do remember Anne Marie. Kimber. There we go. Comes to me. Michael, Kimber, and Anne Marie do a great job. It's a troll-free zone. They're adding new things, new ideas. People are coming up with all sorts of great stuff. And if you're curious about something, you can ask a question and someone will know the answer or find the answer. And it's a really open and cool place to be. Let me minimize, go here. And if you're interested enough and inspired enough to want to visit my site, here it is, freedomthroughastrology.com. If you click on the subscribe button, I believe that's the first thing. Yes, my newsletter. I do this weekly newsletter. All I need is your email address. You get a once a week newsletter that includes summary of major astrological events, an insight for the week, exclusive subscriber-only discounts and offers, information on live appearances and events. And this site is I'm working with a business coach. Oh, excuse me, working with a business coach. There will be additions and changes to the site coming up. So email, sign up. I do not share your name with anyone. If you're so inspired to get a reading, if you click on scheduling, You book an appointment. These are live 1-to-1. I do birth charts, karmic or a past life reading. The transit charts are that's the predictive astrology, why everybody reads their horoscope. And I look at the transiting, and I look at transit to transit and transit to natal. This is what I read. Somebody asked me, does it have to be whole sign houses? If you've got a different house system, I am open to that. I do not one size fits all everybody. So if you prefer Placidus, Campanus, Regiomontanus, something, there's a lot of different house systems. If you're comfortable with that, I will read that for you. 13 signs. I do monthly, 3-month, 1 year. That's going away. And quick consultations. If you want one of these transits taken deeper, 15, 30 minutes, book it. I will take it deeper and apply the lesson specifically to your chart. Okay, that didn't work out for you because you know what, our schedulers are way too different and you can't set aside that time. If you click on services, I do Zoom recordings of all those readings. And most of them come with a follow-up session, a short to medium length follow-up session. So, and if you're curious as to, where is that? I had it on here, 45, 30. Quick 6 reading. If you want to see how your chart would be different, tropical versus sidereal, $25. Quick 6 reading. Sun, moon, ascendant, chart ruler, south node, north node. Nice quick way for you to see how your chart would be different. And last but not least, if you click on blog, this is where I post the transit readings for the week. And if I take one of them deeper, this is where I'm going to post it. Jump back here. So thank you very much. Like me on the different social media sites, follow, share, especially follow, like me and follow me on YouTube to get these when they're released. And again, I apologize. I'm just getting over another one of these classic headaches. I'm sensitive to pressure fronts, and there's a high pressure front southwest of me, and the medication is not working. Everything I've tried isn't, so there. So thank you very much. Have a best possible week that you can. Yeah. Thank you. Have yourself a great week, and I hope to see you next week on the Freedom Through Astrology forecast.